We launched the program in January of this year with 50 kids. And the plan is to grow the program next year by 20 or 50 students, and also explore the possibility of opening more programs in Colombia, in cities like Cali, Medellin, Popayán, or Bucaramanga.
This program in Cartagena, it's been an amazing example of like what you can do throughout the country. I think Colombia has a big exposure to urban programs.
Son experiencias muy lindas y gracias a nuestros profesores las estamos viviendo, gracias a que nos dan ese apoyo, esas clases.
As we thought about this event, we wanted to make sure that you all had an opportunity to not only meet the Squash Urbano students, but also see them play. And so I think some of you had a chance to do that on the other court. And the other reason that we're here at the Harvard Club is because this club has played a special role in the creation of the program. Many of our earliest meetings were here. Our board chair, Deanna Gomez, who you're going to hear from in a few minutes, was first introduced to the program here by Esteban. And many people from this club have been wonderfully supportive. Most of all, Richard Chin, who's the head pro here. Richard, where are you? And so now I'd like to introduce the star of the evening, my colleague Esteban Espinal. Esteban grew up in Bogota, played on the Colombian national team, and lived in the United States for 10 years. For the last 5 of those 10 years, Esteban worked at City Squash, which is one of the country's 17 urban squash programs. And he was the director of squash there. And when Nyc launched an international arm a couple of years ago, we thought that we would do fellowships and exchanges with other countries, but we didn't think that we were ready to help start a program abroad from scratch. And not long after we started that international arm, Esteban approached Nyc and asked if he could apply to have Colombia be the first country where an urban squash program was launched by Nyc. And that was about 2 years ago. And last year at this event, the program was launched, and now we're very pleased that the organization serves over 40 students and has 4 staff and is doing amazing things for its students every day. So much of it is a credit to all of you, but nobody more than Esteban. So please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Thanks, Tim. By the way, the stars, I'm not the stars, they're the stars. So a round of applause for my guys here. We're super excited of being here in New York. It's been an amazing trip. And I think, thanks for your support. We were able to launch the program with 50 students. And I gotta tell you, it's just amazing. The kids are loving their squash, they're loving their academics, and they're improving in both sides. When I think about what urban squash can do for kids in Colombia, in America, and now in Africa and India, yes, we teach them squash. Yes, we help them with academics. In Colombia, the kids are learning English. But I think what we do, and the most important part, it's opening their eyes and their minds to a different world. You know, the experience that this group had in Malaysia last year, some of them, and now in New York, is just something incredible. You know, they have the chance of meeting kids from all over the world, became friends with a lot of them, and it's just amazing how urban squash can open the kids' mind and show them that there can be, you know, different opportunities, and that there's they can achieve a brighter future. So I think it's the way that urban squash opened their minds that is really important. And for that, I want all of you to give a clap, because you're amazing, and this wouldn't be possible without you guys. I have a couple of stories that just reflect that, and I think it's really cool. On the way to Williams, it was a 3-hour drive, and and I was a co-pilot, and I was going here with Jesus in the back. And Jesus became friends with a city squash student, and he came from Africa like 8 years ago, so no Spanish. Jesus is just learning English, but they were talking the whole time. 3 hours talking. I don't know how they communicated, but it was just amazing. Amazing, and I think like it just shows what we can do for these kids. It's just an amazing experience. And also like during the whole tournament, the kids from City Squash and all the other programs, the way they greet our kids and support them. I mean, they have like their fan club all over following them. So it was just something amazing to see. And before coming here, I had like a different speech in my head, and I was going to talk a little more about numbers, and we're doing this, we're doing that. But I think just sharing this experience with you and the opportunity that we are giving these kids of traveling and meeting different people and different cultures is just amazing. On the tournament, some results, it was great. They all fought hard, but we had some kids that were outstanding. Samuel played like 5 matches, 15 or 17 games throughout the whole tournament. He couldn't move Sunday night. And he finished 6th. And Jesus David, his first tournament ever, started playing in January. He reached the semifinals. So all of them play really hard, and I'm really proud of them, and we all should be. Heidi, Robert, Valeria, you guys did an awesome job, and you should be proud of yourselves too. So a round of applause for them. Now I want to introduce one of our best students. She's been in the program over a year. She started when we started the pilot program, and she's been great. You know, she's working hard on the squash court, working hard on her academics. As you're gonna see her level of English for the time that she's been with us, it's great. And actually, it's all because her hard work. Because before we got to Cartagena, Valeria was studying English by herself. You know, dictionary, songs from Spanish to English. It was amazing. So all the credit for her. We're just like helping her like reach her goal and her dreams. But she's gonna tell you a little bit more about the program and what we do and her experience in the program. So Valeria, the stage is yours.
No.
I'm here.
Good evening. My name is Valeria Osorio. I am 15 years old, and I am a student at Antonia Santos School in Cartagena. On March of 2014, Squash Urbano visited my school to start a pilot program. To be honest, I didn't know how a squash court looked or what a squash racket looked like, but I enrolled just to feel that I was practicing a sport. As soon as I got home, I Googled urban squash with my mom, and I noticed that it was an organization that could offer a lot of opportunities. After 2 weeks in the program, I was falling in love with the squash, and I realized that my heart and my soul were placed in the squash courts. As time passed by, I met a lot of wonderful people like my coach, Dayson, who has been a great influence in my life. Squash Urbano not only has introduced me to this great sport, but also has helped me with my academics and has given me the opportunity of learning English as a second language. My teammates and I go to squash and English lessons 5 times a week. We love being at the courts and spending time with our teachers and coaches. Another part that I enjoy a lot is the opportunity that Squash Urbano gave me of traveling. One night, while I was training, my coach Jason told me that I had been selected to go to Malaysia as part of a cultural and sports program sponsored by the Colombian government. When I arrived home that night and I told my mom, she thought I was joking. But when I told her that this was very serious, she started to Google everything about Malaysia. I was super excited since I have never been on a plane before or traveled outside my country. It was a wonderful experience. We had the chance of meeting the best squash players in the world and train with Nicole David, the #1 player in the world, for a week. We also had the opportunity of learning and experiencing a totally different culture. Some of my teammates even tried frog legs. I also want to thank all of you for the opportunity to visit the US. Last weekend, me and my teammates played the Urban Individual Championships in Massachusetts. We met kids from all over the country and made a lot of friends. Overall, we had a lot of fun. Also, having the chance of exploring New York City was amazing. Times Square was the best. I hope I can help more children in Cartagena to go after their dreams, as I have been doing. It is such an amazing feeling knowing that I'm working on something that I love and deeply enjoy. Thank you for supporting Squash Urbano, and thank you for supporting me.
Thanks, Valeria. That was Valeria did great. Another round of applause. She practiced a lot. It's great. Now I want to introduce you all to a person that has helped me and worked with me really closely throughout this year and a half. She's been supporting the program and supporting me personally a lot. And I really appreciate all that you do for Squash Urbano and for the kids and for me. Diana Gomez, chair of the board chair of Squash Urbano Colombia.
Thank you, Esteban. Valeria, you did an amazing job, really. And you are the best possible spokesperson for Squash Urbano Colombia, and it's a really hard act to follow. So Squash Urbano, in my opinion, is in its infancy still. You know, we talk about everything we've accomplished over the last year and a half, but really we're just starting. And there's so many things that I feel like we're doing for the first time, including bringing kids here to New York to participate in urban squash championships. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I live in Bogota, which is a city up in the Andes, an hour's flight from Cartagena where the program is. But as board chair, I make it my business to go there at least every 2 months, and I spend a couple of days there. And what I really want to do is I want to see the kids and get to know them. I want to see them in the classroom. I want to see them learning English. I want to see them on the courts. I want to see them doing drills. I want to see how they're developing as people. But most importantly, I want to see, you know, if their sort of big picture objectives that we've had for them are actually, you know, coming about. Are they being met? And those things are really hard to measure. So it's not just about how well they're playing squash, you know, and Jesus David did really well in the tournament, or how well they're learning English. And you heard, you know, Valeria talk in her impeccable English. But it's really bigger than that. It's, are we you know, imbibing them with all the values that we think are important? Commitment, dedication, passion, energy. Are we able to sort of make those qualities a part of their life? Are we able to nurture them so that they can become much better people and have greater opportunities? So every time I go to Cartagena and I see them and I look at the twinkle in their eye and I see that the passion is there, I go back home and I say, this is really the most gratifying thing I do. So I'm privileged to be able to do this and privileged to be able to support Esteban in any way that I can. I had other things to say, but this thing blocked. So let me see if there's anything else. Probably nothing of importance, clearly. Okay, so I guess the one thing I want to do is I want to encourage all of you to come to Cartagena. You really, when you see the program yourself, and I know some of you are going to be coming soon, some of our board members are coming soon, which is very exciting, you get a completely different feel for the program. One of our board members who hadn't been went 2 weeks ago, and he's a banker from Bogota, a very busy man, but he went to a banking convention in Cartagena and took some time out to visit the program, and I think he played with the kids, saw Esteban. And he sent me this email. He says, Diana, after visiting the program yesterday, my family and I are more motivated than ever to support our program. So that's so encouraging to hear, and I think if you come, you'll feel the same way. Cartagena is a magical destination. We're on all the lists of top destinations in the world. We've got hotels in all price categories, fabulous restaurants, beaches, islands off the coast, history everywhere. So please come, play squash with the kids, speak to them in English, practice your Spanish with them, but come. And I had a long list of people I was going to thank, but Tim did that for me. But mostly I want to thank all the organizers of the event, the Harvard Club, Tim and Esteban, our board members, the organizing committee, and everybody else, because it really has been, I think, an exceptional event. So thank you all for coming.
Just one last thing. I just want to thank someone else that put all the show and everything, my good friend Santiago Muñoz. So he was the one that had this bright idea. So I want to thank him. And lastly, we have you've seen our silent auction. We have lessons with great squash pros. We have an island in Baru. It's an hour from Cartagena, beautiful island, with everything included. So silent auction. Let's go and bid. Thank you.
We should tell them about the exhibitions happening on the other.
Okay. And in 5 minutes, we're going to have exhibitions on the other court with Amanda, Bernardo, and Ryan. So join us for a drink.